Okay guys, we're going to check out the latest version of ZBox. So both the latest version of the software, the APK for Android, and the latest version of the firmware for the dongle itself. So I have the dongle plugged into my head unit in my car, and here it's a PX5 system running Android 6.0.1. I'm running Car Launcher Pro as the main launcher, and here I've got the latest version of ZBox. So ZBox is at version 2.1.0. and I believe the dongle's firmware is also at 2.1.0. We'll find that out in a minute. Also of note, I have, usually in my head unit, I use Spotify, so that's what I use to listen to music, so keep that in mind. Right, so let's launch up ZBox and see what we have. Alright, so here's the main interface for ZBox, and I'll have you note that, as I just figured out, it's by a company called Zjinnova. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I never really investigated the manufacturer of this device, but I'll put a link in the description. You guys can check it out. They do have their own website where you could check out their current project, which this is the ZBoX Z1. There is supposed to be a ZBoX Z2 out sometime in the future, and they also have some other things that are more of interest for head unit manufacturers for updating their head units and adding functionality. Anyway, interesting. Right, so on the screen you can see APK version 2.1.0, ZBoX version 2.1.0, so the latest firmware that I could find. And yeah, so let's see how it works. Main thing here, so it says ZBoX connected, phone not found. I have a original Apple iPhone cable, and we're going to hook it up to an iPhone 7 Plus. Let's plug that in. Just take a second and then detect the phone, hopefully. I don't know if it has a bit of stage fright or what. I literally just had this working a second ago, so I don't know what's wrong. Let's restart ZBox. ZBoX connected. And phone, there it goes, phone connecting. Right, so regular Carplay interface. Anybody who's used Carplay, you've seen this before. Touch works as you'd expect on your phone. It just shows up Carplay. It will give you a notification the first time you connect if you should allow it to use Carplay while unlocked. Obviously, you know, hit allow, and then you could kind of put your phone wherever you want, leave it to charge, and yeah, use Carplay as you wish. So, basic interface, you got phone, music, maps, messages, and so on. Let's start with phone. I'm gonna try not to call too many people. So it starts out right with Siri and asks you who you're calling. I don't want to call anybody right now, but I'll tell you that the microphone does definitely work. So even for something like, hey Siri, hello.
Hey.
So it uses the native microphone that's built into my car. It just happens to be in the headliner. So it listens to your voice and it listens for hey Siri. Maps works as you'd expect. It's actually quite responsive in this newest version. There doesn't seem to be that much lag, and everything loads up pretty quickly. Let's see, destinations. Just pick something random, and we'll hit go.
Starting route to 143582. Head northwest on Pavshinsky I Bulvar, then turn left.
Yep, so that's Siri's attempt of saying Russian street names in English. But it works very well. Siri's voice guidance works just fine. Next thing, for interest's sake, last time I did a video I used Spotify, but this time we'll use music. So on my head unit, here we'll actually go home here, it works in the background. We have Spotify, I just have it paused, right? So we'll open up ZBox. Right, so we'll go back to this and let's launch music. I have some Santana going. So it's playing on the touch screen, no problem. Back, forward, pause, play, right? But on my steering wheel controls, which would work normally, if I press my play pause button, we have some Charlie Puth in the background, and that's coming from the Spotify that's running on the actual head unit. So that's not the CarPlay audio. So if I press play pause, it does not affect the CarPlay audio that's playing. So play pause only seems to work when you're using the touch interface. All right, but next and previous song works for everything. So right now I'm pressing next and previous. You're seeing that we're getting some different music going from Spotify. So it's changing the songs on Spotify and it's changing the songs on Carplay. So this has been a problem in the earlier versions. Hang on, let me just pause that. It's been a problem in the earlier versions that the steering wheel control buttons affect everything at the same time. Either everything at the same time or only the background apps. So there's still a problem with steering wheel controls. So basically, if you want to only control CarPlay audio, you're better off not touching the steering wheel controls or somehow deleting and killing off every single other audio control app that would be controlled by your steering wheel. So make sure that you forcibly kill Spotify, force kill whatever music app you're using in the background. Otherwise, it will start affecting those songs and not affecting the CarPlay songs as you would want it to do. Okay, so that's my main gripe with it right now. The sound quality is excellent. It used to be that the sound quality was really, really bad. It's as if it was sampled at, I don't know, less than 22,000 hertz or something like that. It was kind of like listening to it through an plain old telephone. But now it sounds really crisp, really clear. Video quality is good. If we try something here, so let's listen to some music, right? So pull on some Billy Joel. Let's open up maps and see if we get any kind of, while zooming in and out, we used to get a bit of stutter in the music playback, but I think Billy Joel is unhampered by the zooming in and out this time, so it's nice and smooth. So really the only leftover gripe is the inability to control the music here properly with steering wheel controls. So somehow, some way, this app needs to be updated to fully take priority over any other music app. As I mean, it's running full screen. It's the app that's in front of everything. So every other app should not be controlled by the steering wheel controls at this point in time. Next, the only other problem, or the only other feature that I'd really like, is I would love to hide this dongle. I really would. So it's not a small dongle, and right now it's hidden in my glove box, and I basically have to take it out and plug my phone only into there. I would love to put it in line with the rest of my head unit and use, I don't know, my stock USB port that is under the head unit. It would look much better, and I can't do that because right now, if I unplug this USB port right now is only good for charging or using it with CarPlay. So I can't put in a USB stick. So if I try to, let's see, it doesn't have any kind of pass-through. So I just have a regular old USB 2.0 stick, plug it in, it gets power, and the only USB thing that we get as far as a connection here is the internal memory on the actual ZBOX dongle. So I mean, there's 32 megabytes built into this, and it's only used for firmware updates. But basically this USB port is useless for anything other than CarPlay or charging. I mean, obviously it still does the advertised function, but it would be great if in a kind of passive mode it worked as a regular USB port, so you could use it for CarPlay and any other USB transfer device. It would be great. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. It works as advertised. There are a couple problems, namely steering wheel controls, yeah, and the inability to use the port. So basically, if you want to do anything else with these fine USB ports, you unplug it and you plug whatever else you need in. It would be nice if we could put this in line with something, hide it behind the head unit itself and kind of stealth the whole thing, but unfortunately that's not something that's possible. Last note, it gets warm. Yeah, so I obviously can't send this through video, but if you feel the side of this where the actual main chip is, it gets quite warm to the touch. I've taken this apart before. If you put your finger physically onto the little microchip that's on the circuit board that this is made of, it gets really, really hot. So I don't know if that's something to worry about, if that's just by design, how much heat it's supposed to withstand. But yeah, needless to say, this dongle does get quite warm, and it is pretty power hungry. Yeah, so that's it. Links in the description for any kind of details if you're interested in purchasing this for yourself, for your Android head unit. It's quite an interesting little device, and hope this video helps. Guys, take care. Bye-bye.